Hello dear students, we have Dr. Kunal over here who is rank NEETPG 2019 rank 64. He is currently an intern from KEM Mumbai and his internship is not yet over, but he has got such an excellent rank. We would like to congratulate you, Kunal.
Thank you, sir.
For such an awesome performance. Yes, your story. Let's hear it from your mouth.
I've joined DAMS in foundation course in third minor, and then I also had test and discussion in the internship. The goal of setting the goal for NEETPG began actually after I joined the foundation course in third minor. So in third minor it was basically about going to the class, listening whatever I can. It used to get tiring sitting the whole day sometimes. Maybe I could not make all the notes. I could not attend all the classes also sometimes because of the clinical postings that we had, and we had to attend those and we could not bunk those and do the classes. So it was a little hectic, which we felt initially. Initial few lectures were just went in that sitting whole day and hecticness, and by the end of the year, it became a habit to study for long durations. So the first thing that DAMS gave me was, from studying 2 hours, 3 hours, I could study 8 to 10 hours daily. So that is how those third minor classes actually helped. Then whatever notes I had made, few of them I could revise on the same day, wherever teachers told us. So Sachin Arora's notes which I had made in third minor, so the same thing I have followed till now, every time. So I didn't have to go for any other book for psychiatry. Then even Tushar Mehta sir's notes, which were from ortho, they were very good. So we didn't have to follow anything else till the last moment. And then in the final year we a little went back from the MCQ pattern. We went to our clinics, did well in the final exam also, and then the real setting goals and calculating stuff started when the internship started. So I actually had it like 6 months to start revising everything once. So all seniors, teachers, the seniors in the college, everyone used to tell us ki do first reading, read everything, and then we were following their advices, notes and some MCQ books wherever I could not attend the classes actually. So then there was no option, because actually going for somebody else's notes actually never helped. So having my own notes, I followed them. Whenever I did not have, I went for an MCQ guidebook. And the faculty at DAMS also has the CRS which they have given. So for subjects like PSM and this, the CRS is actually very good. So doing revising biostats from that part, and this actually helped a lot. Then after that, by the end of May, June, I was actually I could not do whole subjects at a time. I had left some topics. So my first reading got over by around August 15th. So but I had kept a lot of things back, because when I'm reading, I just keep on reading, and I don't know what exactly is the high guilt stuff. Even when teachers have given us it in the notes, but that was in the third minor when we joined in the foundation. The test and discussion was going on. It was getting a little difficult to juggle between internship duties and go and listen to this lectures. Once I had a casualty night, and after the night immediately there was a class. So I went to the class and I started listening to Staphylococcus aureus, and then I dozed off in the class. The next thing I was listening was leptospirosis. I realized, okay, this is not happening. I shall just probably go sleep even if I miss the lecture. The best part was that I had some videos on eMedicos. I had a lot of posts on the DAMS club and this thing. So basically, even if I had missed something, I could cover it back. So the basic advantage of DAMS was that. Then came the CBT, the first CBT. In the first CBT, my rank was around 2,700. I could not. I expected better. while giving the exam, I actually felt that I got tired after 230 MCQs, around 230 to 40. In our NEET UG, we had just 200 questions, and it used to get over very easily. There were solving questions and all, but solving 300 at a stretch in just 3.5 hours, like a marathon. It was like a test match that we were playing in, not a 2020, and the endurance to solve those 300 questions was not actually there in me. The patience was not there. So after the CBT 1, when I saw Sumer sir's video on solving this
questions,
he motivational video from him was there. He was live on FB and he was telling, go for the SWTs, finish the SWTs, solve the GTs, review them. And actually by that time I was thinking the solution videos were actually time taking, because when the teacher is teaching, he goes it a little slowly so that everyone can understand, and you feel that you can actually skip through, you can go fast. But if I just read the answers, I'll go fast. But the emphasis that the teacher makes on the high yield stuff, you lose out on those parts. So, and you don't focus for 3 hours continuously when you're reading, you miss out on stuff. So I changed my pattern from reading to watching those videos for reviewing. Actually, especially at the time of Diwali. So I got a 2-3 days vacation from internship. I could sit back, plan everything well, and then I started giving tests daily, almost every other day, and just review them. So there was a time period of 15 or 20 days when I actually just solved tests and reviewed them on laptop like an exam, without any breaks, without pausing them, and that actually helped me. My initial scores in those GTs were around 600. They went up to 800 by the end of the second last GTs.
So how much did you score in the NEET exam?
909.
Okay, so that means probably those GTs were on a positive path.
Yeah. And even the NEET exam was a lot easier.
Okay.
These GTs had a little difficult questions, maybe comparable to the Central Institute exams. But then when we do a little tougher, the easier questions become automatically a cakewalk. So,
yeah.
And in the NEET, I had to sit for 2 hours before the exam because I had to report at 1:30. Then the exam started at 3:30. Then the exam was in the afternoon. I'm a early morning person who used to get up at 5 for even the university exams and study early, sleep early during exam time, and so I had to change my schedule. So after Diwali, I gave all the tests between the 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. duration. So I had to make sure that I don't doze off, I don't get tired while solving them. So in the exam, I had to sit from 1:30 to 7. So it wasn't actually hectic because even the questions were little on the easier side than what I had practiced. So when I had practiced a difficult thing, when you face Shoaib Akhtar, you can obviously face somebody like Munaf Patel.
Definitely.
So that was one thing. Then in the CBT 2, I actually realized I can easily solve questions quickly. My paper got over in some 2.5 hours in the CBT 2, and I got a rank of around 128. But then I had realized.
So basically 128 by 2 if I do is 64. So right. Basically you even improved after CBT 2 to get a better rank. Okay.
Actually I had done a lot of silly mistakes in the CBT 2. Okay. The moment I came out, I realized, oh shit, I marked something wrong.
Okay.
And when we're just coming out of it and we're discussing, and I realized there are around 10 to 15 questions which I could have easily made correct. Okay. And I just had those silly mistakes, and immediately after that, Sir's video came on how to not make silly mistakes. And that was a big boost.
Okay.
Sir gave us the hints, how to do it, not to read the options first, focus on, and I was a quiz guy. I was always a quiz guy from.
You were with us in Grey Matter as well.
Yes. And so I used to be on my nerves. Whenever the question I used to answer immediately on a spurt. Okay. So even in the MCQ, when I saw the answer, I used to be a lot impatient, mark it eagerly, and then I used to go wrong. So sir taught to not look at the options first, because in the quiz there are no options. Your first instinct, it's correct, but when you see the options, you get confused, and then I was doing that very badly. So when I solved the MCQs after CBT2, I'd kept in mind all the points that sir had. And even in the final exam, I had one scenario when there was one question, and sir had taught the concept of odd man out, and it's not your first instinct. When you some rare syndrome or some rare sign in the option, you tend to go for that as the answer, but that is then just wait.
Just take a pause and think again.
Think again. So I thought again. Then I saw that the question had some great idea or clue. So I stopped and I again read the question. I realized 3 options were eliminated very easily, and
the fourth was left out.
Out. So if I had marked it directly, I was going wrong.
Okay. And probably that single question might have taken a rank from 64 to 164 or 264 probably. That's what probably you learned from your CBT, that not to do a silly mistake.
Correct. Okay. Now, even then I ended up doing some, but actually their number reduced. You cannot
we can't eliminate
everything.
It's a very important thing, we can't do it. Okay, Kunal, tell me one thing. See, as an intern, KM is hectic, I know. Okay, being an MBBS graduate myself, I know KM is a hectic place.
Correct.
Now, the very basic concept which students say is skip your duties and come and do the class. You have not done that. You have done your duties. As you mentioned that you did a casualty duty and you had a micro class. Now, how were you actually balancing both?
Actually, our immediate seniors told us that when you're doing these duties, you don't read for stuff when you're there in the ward. So you solve MCQs when you're there in the ward.
Okay. Because so what time is MCQ time? That's what you say.
What time? Okay. So once you're spending 8 hours in the ward, you can at least give some 50 minutes of those 8 hours when you're free to solve. So just
and 50 minutes means 50 questions.
50 questions. That's yes. Yeah. So that is yielding, and then you review them also in the same time. So that helps a lot. And then when you have heavy postings and some days go on, you have double emerge comes on a Sunday, and then there's a emerge on Wednesday. The whole week schedule gets disturbed, but then it's okay. You let it go. If you worry about what you've missed, then it becomes even difficult to cover things when you are free.
Yeah, that means basically you are not going to introspect your past and rather work in the present to perform better. So that's what you want to say.
So when I had made schedules, I am going to finish this much in this time. So you just do that. And if there comes a duty and it's heavy and you miss something, you leave it, you come back to it when you're doing a second revision. So that is how I did it.
Your take on the Facebook club?
Facebook club was the most, it was like there is somebody with us all the time. There is a support all the time. And whenever we had doubts, whenever we had queries, there is a lot of stuff going on everywhere. The different apps, the different questions, different teachers giving different answers, even different standard books having different answers.
Yeah.
So the issue is in the NEET, I felt there were hardly any controversial questions. But as students, we
come across many. Because probably they are an cumulative effect of many exams together.
Correct. So when we see those questions and we get a little confused, "Arey, ye kya hai? Iska kya karna hai?" And then we spend a lot of time in discussing those controversial questions, which was saved by the dance club, because we had to just close our eyes and trust the faculty that are giving whatever they are giving is the right answer. Just note it down, go ahead.
So you noted it down in a copy or on your mobile itself or your computer?
Wherever. Actually, I was not very good with keeping those notes together.
Okay.
So I felt if I had done that, then even I could have gone better.
Okay.
So, but wherever, the way it is possible.
Okay. Now, see, now there is so much of information available. Okay. And students are busy getting data from multiple sources and they start comparing and rating and busy saying that this is good or this is missed, this is that. What is your take on it? Because you are a fresher who did not probably have even time to breathe.
Right. Yeah. So, one senior told me a very nice line. The best book for any subject is the one which you have already read.
Excellent.
So even if it's a guidebook, even if it's, you know that there are some mistakes, you correct those mistakes then and there from the DAMS club or from a reliable source like CRS or something. But then you follow it as an index so that you're covering everything. That saves your time.
So that means basically you need to revise whatever you have read rather than reading the new stuffs.
Yes. And you can go for new stuff, but you have to put it there. It's not rather than going for new stuff. It's you should not go for new resources.
Okay.
The new stuff will keep coming, and you can keep adding it to your own resource. So
okay. Now tell me one thing. See, at the end of the day, you are a fresher with rank 64. You did what has to be done.
Yes.
Now, what is your advice to those who are freshers,
yes,
or who have dropped a year or two but could not do it? What is your advice for them?
Okay. So basically, NEET is not difficult. That is first thing. We are a lot of afraid of the exam, and we are a lot of afraid and they're going to ask some rocket science and some things. But when you actually solve the NEET paper, you see that there is routine instruments you use, routine things that you see in your practice, in your clinics, and if you go to the OTs, the same stuff comes there, and they're very easy questions. You just have to keep your mind stable at those 3 hours. To do that, you need to have a match practice. And that match practice makes a lot of difference. You can keep reading, and then still you will make mistakes, even though you know the stuff, because the question has been framed in a different way. The same thing that you know, the same thing you have seen in the clinical posting has been framed in a different way, and then you make a mistake. So the biggest push to your score is how you practice MCQs.
So that means basically you're saying that as a fresher, or whether I drop out, I have to practice. But now tell me one thing. Many students say, okay, we are only solving MCQs. Now, will it work, or you have to back it with the theoretical knowledge?
When you solve MCQ and you get it wrong, you automatically go back and you read the stuff.
Okay.
And when you're planning, even if you say that I'm going to solve MCQs, you will not stop reading the stuff.
Okay.
So even that's a background truth. So
okay. Now, suppose I say you have 100% of time.
Okay.
How much time will you give to theory, and how much time will you give to the MCQs?
40-60.
Okay. So 40 will be the theory and 60 will be the MCQs. Okay.
That 60 includes also the reviewing and going back to the stuff in your own resources.
So that means if I say 40 is the theory, 40 is the MCQ, and 20 is the review and the theory of the MCQs.
Correct.
That's what I can divide it. Okay. Now, another thing. See, subjects. Okay. We always say that the basic subjects are very important. What is your take on that? Anat, physio, biochem, pathopharma, micro. Because see, generally when we come to the internship phase, many of us say that we've forgotten, we didn't study that good in first year or do it. So what is your take on that?
Okay. So actually these are the subjects that you should start at the beginning of your internship.
Okay.
Okay. So when that is how I did it. Not that everyone should do it that way, but because I thought that I had forgotten exactly the way you said.
Yeah.
So I started on doing actually some MCQ books for them, written by their own teachers. Some of them are also the DAMS faculty. So I just went through the MCQ books in my first 2-3 months.
Okay.
Then I had notes of about up to those 7 subjects. I had notes of 4 or 5. Some 1-2 subjects I did not have notes. I had not attended class. But then I went to the TNDs. I got it from there, extracted it, and put it in the book. Then my source was the book for those subjects for which I did not have the notes. So then, so initial first 3-4 months was actually focused on the basic subjects. For final year subjects like medicine, I actually did not go for any MCQ book. Whatever classes I had attended, whatever I could have attended, I just read the same thing again. Because they're very vast, you cannot focus. And then there are going to be 30 questions from medicine, and there are going to be 25 questions from PSM. So subjects like PSM was a major priority where I had to cover everything and learn as much as possible. So actually gave more time to this stuff. The first year subjects, second year subjects, and PSM. Okay.
Now, short subjects. See, generally students have got dual thinking about short subjects. They say, okay, we have 5 questions in short subjects. There are 6, so 5 into 6 is 30. We would not give that much value. Some say that 30 questions, yes, that is what make the rank. What is your take? Because you have got such a good rank, and the words coming from you would be a guidance for many who have this dilemma about the short subjects.
So for the short subjects, actually, it's the overall take of the 300 questions.
Okay.
So some 5 questions of say skin. One of them was solved from your knowledge of medicine.
Okay.
Say one of them was solved from your knowledge of pathology. So, and when you do skin, you can solve some MCQ of pathology that had a concept from skin. So you have to focus on all subjects.
Okay.
You have to cover all subjects in first reading, whatever time frame you give it. And when you try to do a checklist of subjects and you do it, when you finish a short subject, you get that sense of satisfaction. I have tick mark a subject. So it's actually very good to give time to the short subject when you don't have time in internship.
Okay.
So those busy days, I actually finished
the short subjects.
Skin, anesthesia, the psychiatry, orthopedics, when I had actually heavy duties like medicine. So actually in those time periods, I let the days go and finish those short subjects. So at the end of the day, I had the satisfaction I finished 5 subjects. So the basic tension of kitna bacha hai bhai, itna kaise hoga, so that was a little reduced because of doing short subjects.
Now, see, at the end, if overall I would like you to summarize, and you want to guide a junior from Jammu Kashmir till Kanyakumari, or starting from Surat till the tipmost of Arunachal.
Okay.
What is your message? That suppose I am your younger brother, I am doing an MBBS, I am now in 3rd year or 2nd year or 1st year or final year or intern. What is your message as an elder brother or as a mentor? What would you like me to know?
Okay. If you are a student or you are an intern, if you are a student, focus on what you have in your hands right now.
Yeah.
Don't think that you have to clear NEETPG some days after this. Just focus on one thing at a time, one exam at a time, one quiz at a time, and the cumulative effect of all, whatever you sow in this 5 years, you'll reap in the last year.
Okay.
That's definite. And for a person who's trying to crack the exam, you start doing that after you finish your clinicals, when you have some clinical approach, because that also helps in solving MCQs. So at the end of it, you do multiple revisions, you read stuff, you make one single resource for one particular subject so that you can revise faster. The goal of reading into first time is choose what you want to read. Second revision is basically to memorize stuff, understand what you are weak at, and then n number of revisions as the time permits to make your weak things strong.
Okay.
And along with it, keep solving tests so that you know what you are weak at.
Okay. So Kunal, having a very good discussion with you, I could get some few points. If I am a student, what I could get is, first, we need a match practice. This is a very important thing. Second, I have to balance my internship duties. On the heavy days, I have to pick up short subjects. On my ward postings, I'm going to do the MCQs. Yes. As a student, whatever I have to be content with it, and I have to do the best in it rather than thinking of skipping it.
Correct.
Yeah. Fifth, and probably the most important thing, is not to do many new things, but do the same thing again and again. Okay. And whatever preliminary thing I have picked up, I have to just build on it rather than just every month or 2 months changing my base. I should stick to a base and try to build the pillar of my subject's concept on that. That's what probably you would like to give us. Okay. So, my dear students,
and don't get into controversies too much.
Good. Don't get into controversies, because to solve the controversies, we are there as teachers who can think about it. Because we are reading one subject, you people are reading 19, plus also a 20th subject of pressure. Okay. So we have Dr. Kunal over here, rank 64, a fresher doing his internship, not yet finished. Probably he is one benchmark for many of you across the country who would be listening to this video or who would listen to this video to understand that you need not waste years and years and years in preparing. But if you are on the right path, you are going to get success at the earliest. Thank you, Kunal. We say all the best to you. I hope you rock the party. Last question. What are you going to be in the next 10 years? Which specialty are you choosing?
In MD medicine in next 3 years.
Okay.
And hopefully DM neurology after.
Neurology. Okay. So probably you should remember him. He is going to be a neurologist, because this guy has proved it that at every juncture it is all about how you have a match practice. So all the best, my dear. Enjoy the time. Yes, we expect you to be one of the best neurologists the country has. Make your parents proud, make the country proud, and we are proud of you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.